This series of videos is designed to give you some exercises to do to help with the specific task of getting in and out of the car. Now, this is one that some people with MS find really challenging. You need different levels of strength and control to successfully manage this task. So I'm going to give you some movements and exercises you can try at home that you can do in isolation when you're not in the car, and you can really concentrate on the technique and the form to help all of those individual movements that you need to successfully complete the task. Getting in and out of the car can be really hard, especially because of the shaping of the car seat, the camber of the road and pavement that you might be parked on often makes it a little bit trickier than doing things on the flat. So we're just going to try things on the chair and with a flat floor here to try and make things easier when you are doing the in and out of the car movements when you're out and about. You're going to do this exercise in a chair with no arms. First, you're going to start with a gentle march, lifting the knees just a little bit, right, then left, doing as much movement as you feel happy with here. Once your legs feel a bit warmed up, we're going to go with one leg and do a lifting movement up and out to the side. Then try and bring that knee up and in again. Now, if it's hard for you to get much of a lift, just do a little lift, see if you can move out to the side at all, and then up and back in again. So here, we're looking at that movement of getting your leg out of the car, and then as if you're getting your leg into the car. Now, you do have to lift that foot and knee a little bit to get over the threshold of the car door. So as you do this, try and exaggerate lifting the toes and lifting the knee as you come up and out, and then up and in. If that's enough for you, you can stop and rest. If you want to keep going, have a think about, as we do this movement, sitting up tall. I want you to try and avoid leaning back too much. See if you can sit tall, and as you do the legs, keep your pelvis stable. This is a really important movement for walking and stair climbing. So if we can isolate the movement to the legs and keep the body still, we're going to start strengthening the right muscles. So this is a hard movement because it uses the hip flexor muscles, which are quite often weak in MS. And we're asking a lot of those muscles because they're already short in a bent position in the chair. So if you found that movement difficult, you could always try sitting on a higher stool or maybe the arm of your sofa to give yourself a bit of a head start. If you want to try a bit more, let's sit up tall again. Now let's really switch on the core by zipping your belly button in towards your spine. And we're going to go again, staying tall and straight in the middle, and see if you can isolate that movement to the leg, avoiding leaning back with the body or leaning to the side with the body. And see if you can do a few more, exaggerating, lifting the toes and lifting the knee. But stay with that smaller movement if you need to, like this, and build up to the higher lift over time as you practice. This exercise is about building confidence in leaning forwards, and this is preparation to then be able to stand up efficiently. So get your feet tucked underneath you in your chair and really feel your feet firmly on the floor for this one. They're your safety nets. I want you to feel the floor nice and firmly underneath you. So first of all, we're going to start just by taking the shoulders forwards. See how far you can come confidently. And if that's a little bit worrying for you, this is a really nice one to do with a table in front of you. You can have your hands on the table and just practice taking your shoulders forwards. We're doing this because you have to shift the weight onto the feet in order to stand up well. But it can be a little bit daunting to lean all the way forwards if there's nothing in front of you. So you can practice with the table first. If you've got the table, then think about reaching forwards. How far across the table can you get with your arms? See if you can get a bit further. So reach across. If you've not got a table in front of you, you can just do this with your hands. The aim is to reach far in front of you. And as you do this, you'll feel your weight moving into your feet. So push your feet into the floor as you keep doing that forward lean. Now this is important. You have to shift your weight onto your feet in order to stand up. So if you're happy there, have a go at lifting your bottom just a tiny bit off the seat as if you're starting to stand up. Now it might just be an intention to stand at this stage, but feel your weight shifting off your bottom and onto your feet. This is a really good exercise for controlling the thighs as well as building up that confidence to lean forwards before having to stand up. We're now going to look at moving forwards and backwards in the seat. Now this can be a tricky one in the car because the seat can sometimes be deep or have shaped edges or even a bit of an uphill slope sometimes. So let's practice how you're going to move around in that seat to then be able to get out of the car. Now this one, you're going to have your hands beside you, and I want you to do that forwards lean with the shoulders and tuck your feet underneath you as is comfortable in your chair. And we're going to look at taking the shoulders forwards and then moving your bottom a little bit forwards in the chair too. And again, use your hands for support, move the shoulders forwards, which helps de-weight your bottom and allows you to then lift up and do a little hop forwards. You're going to do that till you're right at the edge of the chair. So use your hands if you need to and hop forwards again. Right, now going backwards. Lean the shoulders forwards. This feels a bit counterintuitive, but we still need to de-weight the bottom, push through your feet and move your bottom back a bit. Really important that you get that forwards lean. If you're leaning backwards and try and move backwards, you're doing a lot of work with your arms, and really we want the effort to be in the legs here. So shoulders forwards, use the hands if you need to, push your bottom right to the back of the chair. Have another go moving forwards. Now ideally your hands are just there for balance and a bit of support. So shoulders forwards, push through the legs and hop forwards. Again, shoulders forwards, push through the feet and hop forwards. Do as many as you need to get to the edge of your chair, and then we'll go backwards. So lifting through the feet to push that bottom up and back. Move the hands if you need to. Lean forwards, up and back. Keep going with those hands there if you need them. But if you want to try without your hands, put your arms across your chest, and you're going to see if you can use the legs and the feet to do all of the movement now. Get that forwards lean to give you a head start. Little hop forwards. And again, little hop forwards, little hop forwards. You can feel your thighs really working now. Little hop back, and last one. This is a really good exercise to try if you struggle getting out of a deep and low sofa as well. Important to get forwards to the edge before you try and stand up. And that's a really common difficulty for people. So getting your weight forwards onto your feet and then being able to lift your bottom a little bit is a really good building block to doing that movement a bit better. In this video, we're going to be looking at how to stand up, getting out of the car, and then how to lower yourself into the car. So imagine you're sitting in the seat, the front seat of the car now, and I'm facing forwards. To stand up and get out of the car, I would recommend the best and most efficient way of doing this is to take one foot out of the car, then the other, and turn so you're facing out through the door. Having 2 feet flat on the floor before you do the next step. Now, you might have quite a low or deep seat to deal with here, so you might be at a bit of a strange angle. And also you might have your feet quite high up on the curb or low down on the road. So really this depends on the situation you're in, but ideally you want both feet flat on a nice steady piece of floor before you do the next step. So you're facing sideways in the car, and we're going to add together those other bits of movement that we practiced earlier. Leaning forwards, getting your bottom to the edge of the seat, even if you are going a little bit uphill. From there, you want to tuck your feet underneath you as far as the situation allows. We're now going to think about pushing up and out to stand. This is tricky in a car because there aren't always sturdy things to hold on to. So probably use the seat rather than anything that might move, like the steering wheel or the door. So let's get the shoulders forwards to start putting the weight on your feet and lifting up your bottom again. To stand up well, you've got to get your nose right over your toes. As you come forwards, you're then going to think about pushing up with your legs and hands to come all the way up to standing. As you do that, think about using both legs. Try and get your weight 50-50, left and right. Now, to get into the car, I would say do exactly the same in reverse. It's tempting when you're getting into the car or rushing to put one foot into the car first and bottom in there. I would say it's easier to get the bottom in first. So again, 2 feet on the pavement or on the road. Use your hand to guide you back to the chair. And as you sit down again, you need your shoulders forwards, your nose over your toes to be able to lower with control. And that movement is all about control. So let's combine the two together and practice the standing up and sitting down so that you can strengthen the muscles you need to do the job well. So you're at the front of your chair, you've brought your feet back, your hands are there for some support, and it's a forwards lean and a push up to standing. Now, if that's tricky for you, maybe use a higher stool or a chair with arms so you can push with your hands. If you're using that chair with arms, you can then find the edge of the chair with your hands. Start to lean forwards. Get your bottom way out behind you as you're lowering, lowering, lowering to the chair. That asks a lot from the legs and the hips. So go as slowly as you can. Are you ready to lean forwards and push up again? Use the arms as much as you need to. To go down, we've got to lean forwards. Find the chair with your hands. Slowly lower. No crash landings here. That needs a lot of control in the thighs, so you might need to practice this to get there. Let's do one more. Leaning forwards, pushing up in one big go if you can, and then reaching back for the chair, shoulders forward, slowly lowering the bottom with control. Well done. If you want to make this a little bit more tricky, if you've got one leg that's a little bit weaker, put that foot back. The other foot is going to come forwards a bit. Now I say put your weaker leg back because the foot that is furthest back is going to do a little bit more work. So try the same again, leaning forwards, pushing up. You'll notice this leg has to help you out a little bit more here, but it's a great way of strengthening that leg that you might usually avoid a little bit. So keep going with the same movement. If you want to make it harder again, take the hands across your chest so that there's no arm support. And you're really having to use your legs now to go forwards and up with power, slowly back and down with control.